Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are on the GoTrax Dirt. It's spelled D1RT. E-mountain bike. This is a lower power 36 volt system, 10 amp hour battery, but it's going to be higher efficiency. This has a torque sensor. So it has a torque sensor, so this e-mountain bike is going to give you some exercise, potentially, depending on how much power you ask of it, of course. And so what we'll do today, this is my first ride out on this bike. What we're going to do today is do this simple, easier, wider loop, maybe once, maybe twice, and then take it out on the single track, narrower trail where we have a bumpier, rougher environment. When GoTrax reached out to me, they were like, hey, can you go ahead and review this bike for us? Initially, I thought, no, you know what, I really don't want to, because it's a lower powered bike, and I'm sure you guys are all aware, everyone loves the powerful stuff. However, I thought back of the time when I needed to buy an angle grinder. I needed a tool, right? And I'm like, okay, let me buy myself a nice cordless, high-powered angle grinder. $200, $300, they're expensive, sometimes more. I think I was looking at the Makita brand, right? That's the battery system I have. And I said, you know what? I don't want to spend this money right now. Let me just get something. So I went out to a store nearby. It's called Harbor Freight Tools. They were having a sale. And I got an angle grinder for $10. I'm not even kidding you. It's like $10 or $15. And guess what? It's still working just fine. It's done everything I've asked it to. And it still works perfectly fine. And I did not have to spend $200, $300, $400 on an angle grinder. Instead, $10 to $15. And so that way you can take the remaining money and reinvest it to something else. But where I'm going with this is, if you're looking for something super powerful, some kind of high-powered mountain bike, but all you're doing is stuff like this, maybe that's overkill. And GoTrax thought, you know what, let's give these guys a budget option. If someone just wants a little bit of a power boost, they want to exercise on their mountain bike, but they want something just for the hills, and the rest of it is only going to be exercise, this is probably going to be the bike for you. Actually, funny story, way back in the day, and by way back I mean about a year and a half ago, that's exactly the type of bike that I wanted. I was just doing like regular, kind of casual mountain biking on trails like this with some friends. But when I approached the hills, I was really annoyed because, I was enjoying myself, and then the hills made you feel like you were having a heart attack. And so what I said to myself is I would buy just some kind of cheap mountain bike only for the hills. And yeah, we all know how that went. But this is the bike that I wanted from day one. How funny was that? Long story short, the bike that I did get, it was a Walmart brand hyper bike, and I didn't like it at all. It wasn't good. It actually shut off going uphill. It had a cadence sensor, so it's kind of awkward. And it felt very, very, very heavy when the power was off. I was planning on just keeping the power off, but with the resistance of the motor being turned off, it felt like the bike was 100 pounds, and so that wasn't good. So I just went straight to the Kepler. But anyways, this bike you could just keep on a lower pedal assist level, and it has a torque sensor, which means it's going to work with you in terms of how hard you pedal. It'll give you more power. And right now, guys, I'm having a good old time. This is a nice lightweight bike. We're just hanging out.
Check it out, guys. This thing is nice and lightweight. You can easily just throw it right on top of your bike rack for the back of your car. Super lightweight bike. It looks like a normal mountain bike as well. Very easy to transport.
And if you got this budget style e-mountain bike and you were doing stuff like this and you were in decent shape, or you wanted to get in decent shape, get some exercise with this torque sensor, this might be a great option for you. There's a tool for everything. And those guys at Harbor Freight that said, you know what, let's get them an angle grinder for $15. This guy bought one. I got one, and it's great. Sorry, Makita. Maybe one day I'll get the cordless one. So we're just hanging out in low gear. This bike doesn't have a speedometer, of course. Speed isn't really all that important on a trail. You want control, performance. You want hill climbing gears. And speaking of which, We are on our biggest granny gear, highest pedal assist. Let's see how this steep part is. This is a true test for this bike. We're probably gonna have to get up from the seat though, yeah, right now. So we're up from the seat, we're pedaling hard, and this bike is very quiet. The motor in the back just gives you a light hum. We're pedaling pretty good. I had the throttle on. But like I said, guys, this is an exercise bike. For stuff like this, so you get a hill and you can get your mountain biking in, get your hill climbing in. This part's steep. So for stuff like this, you would probably want a bigger granny gear. Putting my whole body weight into this right now. Whew. All right, continuing on. Super quiet bike though. You can't even tell that it's an electric bike unless you really knew what you were looking at. Just a very, very light hum from the motor. And another hill, gonna have to stand up. Tires are okay, minimal slippage. I do wish that we got a slightly bigger granny gear for climbing, but it's not too bad. Let's keep going. The grips are non-ergonomic, round, smaller, grippy, better for control. Handlebars are wider, same thing, better for control. We got the usual budget-oriented Shimano shifter, thumb throttle on the right-hand side, and then a very basic minimalist control panel on the left, and of course a bell, so you can annoy people on the trail. No lights on this thing, just a front reflector, a rear reflector. This is not a bike I would want to be on the roads at all, which is why we're out here today. This is an electric mountain bike, low power. I figure I'm not even going to bother testing this on the road because why? What's the point? That's like trying to get a giraffe to swim. I don't know why I thought of that analogy. Or getting a fish to run. Makes no sense. One thing I do like about this bike, and I keep saying it, is how quiet it is. I forget that I'm riding an electric bike. The seating position is obviously more aggressive, more weight put on the handlebars, made for enhanced control. So let's stop for a second. Let's talk about the specs and components of this bike. So these are actually 27.5-inch tires, and they are 2.35 inches wide, so narrower mountain bike style tires. Basic front fork with the preload adjustment, basic lockout adjustment as well. Pretty decent cable management. The cables are routed through the frame. That's very nice. See that, guys? Paint job looks pretty good. I like it. Very clean looking again. You almost can't even tell that this is an electric bike. It's almost like a stealth e-bike. Seat on the narrower side, obviously geared more for off-roading. But look at this. This is pretty squishy. Very nice. Brakes are 180 millimeter rotors on the ends, and they are mechanical disc brakes. It would be nice to see hydraulic disc brakes on all electric bikes, but it is what it is. I guess this is lighter, so maybe you can get away with it, but for mountain biking, you generally want a little bit more control. There's higher risk maneuvers involved, so stopping is very important so you don't go face first into a tree. The battery is integrated right into the frame. Charge port cover right over here. Nice little waterproof cover. You can remove the battery from down here. This is a 10 amp hour battery, 36 volts. Got our basic metal pedals and a teeny tiny little hub motor back here. Chainring is on the medium to smaller side, which is good because you want that lower gearing. If anything, I'd probably make it even smaller or replace this right here because I have not used the lower gears at all for this bike. I've just been on pretty much gear 1, 2, or 3. And again, there are no lights on this bike, just a rear reflector back here. No fenders, nothing. Throttle obviously gives you your power, your full power, which is good. I think every e-bike should have a throttle, in my opinion. You get 5 levels of pedal assist starting at 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it looks like no matter which level of pedal assist you're on, throttle always gives you full power, which is good. So let's say you're going on flat ground, you're on pedal assist 1. You don't need all that much power, but you encounter a hill, you can just have the throttle give you full power while you pedal as hard as you can, and then you don't have to keep changing this up and down. All right, guys, we are moving on. Very, very quiet to use. All right, guys, we're coming up on our steep descent with gravel. We're going to test these brakes and tires. Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like there's any slippage. This is loose gravel. We're good, guys. And this part, you got to slow down for. I guess you don't have to, but you notice this bike does not have any fenders, like a lot of mountain bikes. And typically, you're not worried about getting dirty, but I want to be a princess today, and I don't feel like getting dirty. All right, we got another steep hill climb coming up. I am going to have to get up off the seat. This bike definitely could use a little bit of a lower gearing. If it's lower power, you're going to be going slow. I think a bigger granny gear is necessary. But it is lightweight, so it's easy to pedal. It almost feels like I'm just riding a regular mountain bike. This is bringing me back. This is a nice little budget option for you guys who want to get into mountain biking but don't want to deal with the hills. If I bought this bike, I would probably just upgrade the rear sprocket, call it a day, get that 11 to 34 tooth sprocket, 7 gears. I really like how quiet this bike is. I can blend in. I can be stealthy with this bike. The brakes are on the quieter side for mechanical brakes. Normally these things are loud for whatever reason, but these are nice and quiet. All right, let's go ahead and do our single track trail. See how this does. And of course, this is a hardtail, so I'm not going to expect much from suspension, but it's a lightweight bike. All right, let's do this uphill portion right here. This part's going to be challenging. Here we go. Look at that. Nice, small, little nimble bike. I was up here earlier on the bigger Ghost Cat F2.2, and I feel like I have less control with that than this, because this is nice and lightweight, nimble. Getting up that was easier, believe it or not. Slower, but more control. So for stuff like this, you don't necessarily want a lot of power. You want to be nimble, quick, light on the wheels. I would like that lower gear though. This is really testing this bike quite a bit. You guys see how many roots there are here. But I'm very pleasantly surprised at how this is just powering through. I don't really hear the chain slapping all that much either. I gotta say, I am enjoying this more than bringing a high-powered bike out here. For technical things, this is why they say small, lightweight bikes are the best. Like I said, there's a tool for everything. Just because you have more power, bigger wheels, bigger tires, doesn't mean it's going to be good. Especially for stuff like this. I feel like I am like a ninja on this thing. This is nice. I was initially planning this to be a shorter ride, but I'm actually having a really good time right now. Guys, let me know about what you think about this quick format style of review. This is going to be my attempt at maybe getting you guys some more videos out so I can cover more bikes for you. Look at this, like all these roots and bumps and rocks. We're crushing it. That was harder on the more powerful, heavier bike because you have more to control. And this, you could just dance right over everything. Rocks, roots. We're just kind of jumping from one rock to another. Just floating right along. Look at this. This is crazy. And I'm throttling, by the way. I gotta say, I didn't know I would be having this much fun right now. Let's climb this. So stuff right here, I would definitely want, a little bit of slippage. Wheels coming up. I would definitely want that lower gear. All right. Very nice. The tires feel good. They're grippy. I'm not losing traction all that much. A lot of control. A lot of control. We're going to head on back. I gotta say, I'm having a good time. This has been an eye-opening experience for me. Right now, I just discovered that I really like these lightweight style mountain bikes. This is fun. I did this a couple times with bigger bikes like the Aerial Rider Kepler. Obviously, I did this with the Ghost Cat. I did this with a Hemiway. It was not as fun as this, and this is a budget bike, right? This is a little cheapy mountain bike, hardtail. I gotta say, this is pretty awesome. Mountain biking is a different type of sport, though. It's different from what you guys are probably doing, where it's like maybe light gravel, mostly pavement. Yeah, see right here, pretty steep downhill. Would have been nice to have mechanical brakes. These brakes were struggling a bit. 36 volts, I really wish this was at least 48, but at least you get the torque sensor so you can add in your own power. I'm not using a lot of power right now. You don't need to on a terrain like this, nor do you want to, because it messes you up. It's too uncontrollable. Let's get up this. Here we go. Going up. Oh, pedal strike. Going up. Here we go. Big root. Yep. This is impressive. You guys have seen me do this on a bigger bike, and I was nowhere near as graceful as I am with this. I'm telling you, it's all about the right tool for the job. You guys want to check this bike out, it is listed in the description below, along with any coupon codes or discounts that I might be able to offer. If you guys need an electric mountain bike on a budget, this would be a pretty solid option. I am very much so enjoying myself, more than I thought. With this torque sensor, we're getting a little bit of exercise. Just floating over the roots, the lightweight frame. Suspension is, it's working okay. It's not like overly loud. The brakes could be better though. This bike does need hydraulic brakes. Going down some of the hills, I really find myself squeezing hard. So you gotta be careful with that. But so far, I am really enjoying myself way more than I thought. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on. Look at this, just cruising along. This thing has a little bit more torque than I thought it would also. I'm using the throttle quite a bit, not sparingly whatsoever, and we're crushing it, guys. Maybe because this bike is so lightweight, it doesn't really need all that much power. I don't know. I don't even know where I am. Did I get lost again? You guys see this? This thing is killing it. Did I just do one big loop? So it says to go that way. Oh, I remember where we are now. Okay. I am having way more fun than I thought I would. All right, we're going to go down this. Let's test the brakes. Look at this. Just floated right over. I think the best thing to do would be maybe to have like your main e-bike for roads and speed, and to get something like this for mountain biking, because you cannot do this all that well on those big high performance speed monsters. No way. And again, guys, check out this bike in the link in the description below. I think it's a fun little bike. Alrighty, guys, that is it for today. Hope you guys liked the video. If I've earned your subscription, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you like it. Leave a comment. Leave a nice comment. Let me know what you think of this bike. Would you get it? Would you get it as your secondary backup bike? Or something that you can use to mountain bike while you have your main e-bike? Leave a comment below. Follow me on social media. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and my 2 Facebook groups, E-Bike Addicts and High Speed E-Bikes 40 miles an hour and up. That's it for today, folks. Until next time.